Welcome to Part 2E of the CISA Domain 1 series, where we bring the audit lifecycle toward its final and most visible stages. Up to this point, we've explored how audits are planned, executed, tested, and managed using a structured, risk-based approach. Now we shift our focus to what happens after the testing is complete. In this section, we'll examine how auditors communicate findings clearly and effectively through professional audit reporting and stakeholder communication. We'll also explore follow-up activities, where remediation actions are tracked, validated, and monitored to ensure risks are properly addressed. This series provides a structured walkthrough of the complete Information Systems Audit lifecycle aligned to key CISA concepts and practical audit activities. Part 2A introduced auditing foundations, standards, ethics, and the audit lifecycle. Part 2B focused on governance, the audit function, and understanding the business environment. Part 2C explored enterprise risk assessment, audit planning, engagement planning, and audit project management. Part 2D covered audit execution, evidence collection, data analytics, technology-enabled auditing, and root cause analysis. Now, in Part 2E, we complete the life cycle by focusing on audit reporting, stakeholder communication, follow-up activities, quality assurance, and continuous improvement. Together, these sections provide an end-to-end view of how audits deliver assurance, strengthen controls, reduce risk, and support better business decisions. This diagram provides a high-level view of the complete Information Systems Audit lifecycle and shows how audits move from governance and planning through execution, reporting, remediation, and continuous improvement. The process begins with governance, audit planning, and understanding the business environment. Auditors then perform risk assessments, develop the audit universe, and plan engagements using a risk-based approach. The life cycle then moves into fieldwork, where auditors perform testing, collect evidence, use sampling methodologies, and apply data analytics and technology-enabled auditing techniques. Once testing is complete, findings are evaluated, root causes identified, and results communicated through audit reporting and stakeholder communication. The process concludes with follow-up activities, remediation tracking, quality assurance, and continuous improvement to ensure risks are addressed and the audit function continues to mature over time. Throughout the life cycle, auditors remain independent, objective, evidence-based, and focused on delivering assurance and business value. Audit reporting and communication transforms audit work into meaningful business insight and actionable recommendations. After testing and evidence collection are completed, auditors must communicate findings clearly, accurately, and objectively to the appropriate stakeholders in a timely manner. The process begins with understanding the audience and determining the purpose, scope, and key messages of the report. Auditors then prepare the report by summarizing objectives, methodology, findings, risk ratings, recommendations, and management responses. Effective communication is not just about issuing a report. It also involves discussing findings with management, clarifying observations, addressing questions, and ensuring there is a shared understanding of risks and corrective actions. Once finalized, reports are distributed securely to relevant stakeholders, and follow-up activities begin to monitor remediation progress and management action plans. The ultimate goal is to deliver reliable, evidence-based information that strengthens governance, improves controls, reduces risk, and supports informed decision-making. Communicating audit findings is one of the most important parts of the audit lifecycle because it transforms audit work into clear, actionable business insight. The objective is to ensure that stakeholders understand the findings, recognize the associated risks, accept accountability, and take appropriate corrective action. The communication process begins with planning the communication approach by identifying the audience, defining key messages, and determining how and when the results will be communicated. Auditors then prepare the findings by summarizing objectives, scope, methodology, evidence, risk ratings, and recommendations in a clear and structured manner. The next step involves discussing and clarifying the findings with management. This includes explaining the issue, business impact, root cause, and answering questions to ensure mutual understanding and agreement. Management responses and remediation plans are then obtained, including assigned owners, timelines, and corrective actions. Once finalized, the report is securely distributed to the appropriate stakeholders, and follow-up activities begin to monitor remediation progress and unresolved issues. The slide also highlights key communication principles such as clarity, objectivity, relevance, timeliness, and confidentiality, along with common challenges like overly technical language, unclear recommendations, and poor stakeholder engagement. Ultimately, effective communication builds trust, drives corrective action, strengthens controls, and helps turn audit findings into meaningful organizational improvement. This example shows how audit results are structured and presented within a professional information systems audit report. The report begins with an executive summary that provides management with a high-level overview of the audit results, overall conclusions, key risks, and major findings. From there, the report defines the audit objectives, scope, criteria, and methodology used during the engagement. This helps stakeholders understand what was reviewed, how testing was performed, and the standards or controls used as evaluation criteria. The core section of the report contains the detailed findings and recommendations. Each finding typically includes the issue identified, audit criteria, root cause, business impact, risk rating, recommendation, management response, ownership, and target remediation dates. The report then concludes with the overall audit opinion, limitations, follow-up activities, and intended recipients. A well-structured audit report should be clear, objective, evidence-based, risk-focused, and actionable. Its purpose is not only to identify weaknesses, but also to support informed decision-making, strengthen controls, and drive corrective action across the organization. Audit documentation is the written record that supports the auditor's work, findings, conclusions, and final report. It provides evidence that audit activities were properly planned, performed, supervised, and completed in accordance with professional standards and organizational requirements. Documentation typically includes audit objectives, scope, testing procedures, evidence collected, work papers, findings, recommendations, and final conclusions. Good audit documentation should be clear, accurate, complete, organized, and easy to retrieve. It supports accountability, quality assurance reviews, traceability, regulatory compliance, and future follow-up activities. The slide also highlights the importance of retention, access control, custody, and proper handling of audit records to protect confidentiality and maintain integrity. Ultimately, audit documentation acts as the bridge between audit objectives, evidence gathered, findings identified, and the conclusions presented within the final audit report. Follow-up activities ensure that audit recommendations are implemented effectively, risks are reduced, and improvements are sustained over time. Once the audit report is issued, management develops action plans, assigns responsibilities, and implements corrective actions to address identified findings and root causes. Auditors then monitor remediation progress, review supporting evidence, and verify that implemented actions are operating effectively and reducing the intended risks. The process also includes ongoing status reporting to management and audit committees, escalation of overdue or high-risk issues, and formal closure of completed actions. The slide highlights key performance indicators such as timely completion of actions, average time to closure, overdue remediation items, and overall effectiveness of implemented controls. Ultimately, follow-up activities help ensure that audit findings lead to meaningful, sustainable improvements rather than unresolved risks that continue to impact the organization. Quality assurance and continuous improvement help ensure that the audit function remains effective, reliable, and aligned with professional standards and evolving business risks. The process begins with establishing quality standards, methodologies, and expectations that guide how audits are planned, performed, documented, and reported. Audit teams then perform quality reviews and monitor performance using quality metrics and key performance indicators to assess consistency, compliance, efficiency, and overall audit effectiveness. The slide also highlights the importance of identifying improvement opportunities by analyzing feedback, recurring issues, emerging risks, and technology trends. Based on these insights, organizations implement improvements through updated methodologies, enhanced tools, training, automation, and stronger data analytics capabilities. Finally, the effectiveness of those improvements is evaluated to ensure the audit function continues to mature and deliver value over time. The overall goal is to deliver high-quality, consistent, and value-driven audits that strengthen governance, improve risk management, and support continuous organizational improvement. Control self-assessments, or CSAs, and integrated audits are two important approaches used to strengthen governance, improve controls, and enhance risk management across the organization. A CSA is a management-driven process where business owners and operational teams assess the effectiveness of their own controls against business objectives and identified risks. Internal audit acts as a facilitator by helping management identify risks, evaluate controls, and develop improvement actions. The CSA process typically includes identifying objectives and risks, evaluating key controls, assessing control effectiveness, documenting results, and monitoring corrective actions. Integrated auditing takes a broader approach by combining multiple audit disciplines, such as operational, financial, and information systems auditing, into a single coordinated assessment. This approach provides a more complete view of organizational risk, control effectiveness, governance, and business performance. The slide also highlights the benefits of both approaches, including better risk awareness, stronger collaboration, improved decision-making, more efficient use of audit resources, and enhanced stakeholder confidence. Together, CSAs and integrated audits help organizations move toward a more proactive, risk-focused, and value-driven approach to assurance and continuous improvement. This practical example shows how the audit lifecycle moves from identifying a finding through to remediation, quality assurance, and continuous improvement. In this scenario, the audit identified that terminated employees still had access to critical business systems, creating a significant security and compliance risk. The process begins with audit reporting, where the finding, root cause, business impact, and recommendations are formally documented and risk-rated. The results are then communicated to relevant stakeholders, including management, process owners, and governance committees, to ensure accountability and agreement on corrective actions. Follow-up activities are performed to monitor remediation progress, verify implementation, and confirm that the identified risks have been properly addressed. The example also highlights the role of quality assurance in ensuring the audit work, reporting, evidence, and conclusions meet professional standards and internal methodologies. Finally, the organization applies lessons learned to improve processes, strengthen controls, automate activities, and enhance future audit effectiveness through continuous improvement. This demonstrates how auditing delivers value not only by identifying issues, but by driving sustainable improvements that reduce risk and strengthen governance over time. This practical example brings the entire information systems audit lifecycle together using a user access management audit scenario. The first section focuses on the front-end audit activities, starting with governance, understanding the business environment, risk assessment, audit planning, engagement planning, project management, and fieldwork execution. During fieldwork, auditors reviewed user provisioning, access approvals, privileged access, and deprovisioning controls to determine whether access management processes were operating effectively. The second section shows how the audit progresses after testing is completed. The audit findings are formally documented and communicated to management and key stakeholders. Follow-up activities are then performed to track remediation progress, verify corrective actions, and confirm that identified risks have been addressed. The example also highlights how quality assurance ensures the audit work complies with professional standards and internal methodologies, while continuous improvement uses lessons learned to strengthen controls, improve processes, and enhance future audit effectiveness. Together, this example demonstrates how auditing moves from identifying risks and evaluating controls through to reporting, remediation, governance improvement, and long-term organizational value. This diagram shows the complete logical flow of an information systems audit, from identifying business risk through to reducing residual risk and delivering business value. The process begins with identifying a business risk that could negatively impact organizational objectives. Auditors then define the related control objective and evaluate the controls designed to manage that risk. Audit testing is performed to determine whether controls are properly designed and operating effectively. Evidence gathered during testing supports the auditor's conclusions and forms the basis of the audit finding. The lower section expands the flow further by showing how findings are analyzed and transformed into corrective action. The auditor first identifies the issue observed, determines the control failure, analyzes the root cause, and evaluates the business impact of the weakness or deficiency. Based on this analysis, recommendations are developed to address root causes and strengthen controls. Management then implements corrective actions to reduce the remaining or residual risk to an acceptable level. The overall outcome is stronger governance, improved controls, better decision-making, reduced risk exposure, and increased organizational confidence in achieving business objectives. Some of the most important concepts, principles, and exam themes to remember for the CISA exam, particularly in the areas of audit reporting, communication, follow-up activities, quality assurance, and continuous improvement. The first section focuses on audit reporting and communication. A key exam concept is that audit reports must be clear, objective, concise, timely, and evidence-based. Findings should include the condition, criteria, cause, effect or impact, and recommendation. Auditors communicate facts and evidence, not opinions, while management remains responsible for remediation and accepting residual risk. The next section focuses on audit documentation. Documentation provides evidence that audit work was properly performed and supports the auditor's conclusions. A common CISA principle is that if work is not documented, from an audit perspective, it was not performed. The follow-up activities section reminds us that auditors verify remediation, while management owns corrective actions. High-risk overdue findings may require escalation to executive management or the audit committee. The quality assurance and continuous improvement section emphasizes the importance of maintaining consistent audit quality, aligning with professional standards, monitoring performance metrics, and continuously improving methodologies, tools, and skills. The communication of findings section highlights several key principles often tested in the exam, including clarity, objectivity, relevance, timeliness, and confidentiality. Strong communication focuses on business impact, root cause, and actionable recommendations. The root cause and risk flow section reinforces a critical audit concept. Business risks drive control objectives, controls are tested through audit procedures, evidence supports findings, and recommendations lead to corrective action and reduced residual risk. The infographic also highlights several important governance concepts. Auditors provide assurance, not ownership. Management owns risk and controls. Audit committees provide oversight. And risk-based auditing is central to the CISA process. Another major exam theme is understanding what the question is really asking. CISA questions often focus on the best action, the most important step, the primary objective, the greatest risk, or the first thing the auditor should do. Finally, the high-value reminder section reinforces that strong audit decisions usually address root causes, reduce business risk, improve governance, align with business objectives, and are supported by sufficient evidence and materiality considerations. Overall, this infographic brings together many of the core concepts that repeatedly appear throughout the CISA exam and throughout real-world information systems auditing practices. This part completes the Information Systems Audit lifecycle by focusing on audit reporting, communication, follow-up activities, quality assurance, and continuous improvement. Throughout this section, we explored how audit findings are communicated to stakeholders, how corrective actions are tracked and verified, and how quality assurance helps ensure audits remain consistent, reliable, and aligned with professional standards. We also examined how continuous improvement strengthens the audit function over time through better methodologies, stronger controls, improved processes, and lessons learned. Together, these activities help transform audit work into meaningful business value by reducing risk, improving governance, enhancing accountability, and supporting informed decision-making across the organization. This concludes our walkthrough of the Information Systems Audit process, from identifying risk and evaluating controls through to reporting, remediation, and continuous improvement. Before we close, just a quick disclaimer. The content shared in this series is based on practical experience, research, and professional interpretation of information systems auditing, governance, risk management, and control practices. This material is intended for educational and knowledge-sharing purposes to support learning, discussion, and exam preparation. I am not officially affiliated with any organization or certification body, and viewers should always refer to official standards, frameworks, guidance, and study materials where appropriate. Thank you for watching and supporting the series. If you found this useful, please like, share, subscribe, and follow the series for upcoming content on information systems auditing, governance, risk management, and cybersecurity. I appreciate the support, and I look forward to continuing the journey through the CISA domains together.